Hey chili heads, welcome back to Red or Green. I am super excited to make today's dish. We're gonna make some carne asada fries. I finally tried them at a couple of different restaurants just to get a feel for it because they're so popular, right? Everybody loves these carne asada fries. Now we've made carne asada on the channel before. It was with our 1,000 subscriber live stream. So if you wanna go back and look at that. So we have done the recipe before. And we've also made some French fries. So we're gonna combine those two and make this delicious carne asada fries. So don't forget to comment below and let me know if you gave it a try and if you like it. So carne asada is an interesting dish. Really all it is marinated grilled meat. And you can use different kinds of steak for this. You can use flank steak, skirt steak. I'm using a top round today because I like the texture just a little bit more. I'm gonna pound the steak out a little bit just so it's thinner. It'll absorb the marinade a little bit better. You can take a couple of shortcuts here. Now, we're gonna make some homemade fries just because I feel like it's easy enough and I have the time to do it and they're so delicious. But if you don't have time and you want this to come together pretty easily in the evening, like for a weekday meal, you can just get some really good quality frozen French fries from the store. And then this will come together pretty quickly. We're also gonna serve it with a couple of different sides, some guacamole and salsa. All of those videos are on the channel. I like Greek yogurt, so we'll use that. Maybe a little bit of cheese. So without further ado, I think we've got everything we need here, so let's get to it. Okay, so I'm gonna start by preparing the fries, and all I'm gonna do is slice these up, and I'm gonna cut them fairly thin. I'm leaving the skins on the potatoes because that's where a lot of the nutrients are. So I'm just gonna slice these into about 1/4 inch sticks. And after I slice these up, I'm gonna go ahead and put them in some water just to pull out some of the starch. And then I'm gonna put them into some water and par cook them for about 15 minutes, just a little bit, so that when I put them in the oven, they cook up pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm gonna cut up about 4 potatoes, figure at least 1 potato per person. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put these fries into a bowl. I'm just gonna add some cold water to these fries. And again, I am just trying to pull out some of the starch from them. And then after they soak for about, 15 minutes or so, I'm gonna pull them out and I'm gonna dry them off really well. So now I'm just gonna set this aside and get to work on my marinade. Okay, so now we're on to the marinade for our steak. And so I'm using I have about 3 limes here. And I also have 1 orange. Some recipes don't call for the orange juice, but I really like the flavor it adds. I'm gonna use my handy dandy squeezer here for the lime. You have to be real careful when you marinate your steak because we're using citrus here. There's always a possibility that it could actually start cooking the meat. That's what the citrus does. So marinating for about a half hour, not much longer than that, should be just right. And this is a good way to get in some arm exercises. Now I'm going to add some soy sauce, and I'm gonna add just about 1/4 cup here. Onto our onion salt, just about a teaspoon. And this onion salt has all kinds of parsley and some garlic. It's so flavorful. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use some garlic powder. And I'm only gonna use about 1/2 teaspoon of this because we already have some garlic in the onion salt. So that's all I'm gonna use there. And for the red chili powder, I always have this in my fridge. As you can see, this is some red chili powder from Chimayo. I only have very little left, so I need more. And the red chili powder from Chimayo is so flavorful. And I'm using a whole tablespoon. I I really want to add in some spice. Okay, and then I'm just gonna mix that all together. So all of the spices and the citrus are all combined. Look at that marinade, it just looks beautiful, dark red. Okay, and so now I'm gonna go in with my steak. I'm gonna add these in here, make sure that they're all well coated. Right, so flip them over. And I'm just gonna make sure again that all of the marinade is covering all sides of the meat. And now we're gonna put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. If your meat is cold already, I think it's okay to leave it out marinating before you cook it. Not everybody would agree with that, but that's what I would do because I want this meat to get to room temperature. And that'll help it cook more evenly. So now we're gonna move on to getting our fries cooking and getting our sides ready. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and, again, I'm gonna parboil these fries a little bit, just so that when I put them in the oven, they cook up a lot quicker. And I'm gonna cook these for about 20 minutes. So I boiled the fries for just about 20 minutes, and I'm going to put them on some parchment paper. I want them to be crispy, right? So that they hold up to the carne asada and the ingredients. And then we're gonna move on to cooking our carne asada. So now I'm just gonna spray some canola oil all over these. And I'm just sprinkling on some onion salt, just to give them a little bit of flavor. You can use salt and pepper, whatever you'd like. I just like using my onion salt for this. So now I'm gonna put them in the oven at 375 for about 20 minutes. And about halfway, I'm gonna see if they're crisping up, and then I'm gonna mix them around so that the other side gets crisp as well. Into the oven. Okay, so our meat's been marinating for 30 minutes. We're ready to go in and cook. I'm using my grill pan here, but you can use your outside grill. This is just easier for me. But I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and my pan's nice and hot. I wanna just make sure that the oil is evenly distributed around the pan before I go in with my meat. The meat looks really, really good. It's turned a little bit red from the red chili. Our pan is nice and hot. We want it to be really hot because we want the meat to, see that sizzle? That's what we want, right? And I think that I'm only gonna cook 2 in the pan because I don't wanna overcrowd the pan because then the meat is gonna steam instead of sizzle like that. So we're gonna come back to it. I'm gonna cook it on each side for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'm gonna flip it over. Really smell that smoky red chili in the meat. It smells wonderful in here. I'm very excited about this. So that's what we're looking for right here. See that char? That's what we want. And these have only been cooking for about 3 to 4 minutes on this side. And then we're gonna do the same on this other side. We're only gonna cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes. So, I'm still coughing a little bit from the red chili. Be aware that when you use New Mexican chili, red chili especially, and you use it in your cooking, it's gonna make you cough, so prepare yourself. But now I'm gonna let the meat rest for about 10 minutes before I cut into it, because that gives it time for all of the juices to redistribute into the meat. And I'm gonna make my guacamole. We're gonna check on our fries, and then we're gonna assemble our carne asada fries. Okay, now I just pulled the fries out, and I'm just gonna flip them over just so that both sides get crisped up. And back in the oven just for another 10 minutes. Now we're gonna go ahead and go in and chop up our meat. I'm gonna cube it sort of very fine so that it goes over the fries nice and easily. So just cutting it into strips and then going alongside the other way. There we go. And so this will be on top of the fries, and I'm gonna cut up the rest of these, and then we're gonna assemble our fries. So we've got our fries all cooked up here. They're nice and crispy, and we're just gonna assemble. My mouth is watering. I'm so hungry for this. Next, we're gonna go in with our meat, and I'm just gonna Sprinkle it around. I've got the juices in here that's gonna drip onto the fries and add some more flavor. Now I'm going to add some cheese. I've just got some cheddar cheese here. Oh, it looks like plenty. I made this avocado crema, and we're gonna add that on top here. We have a future video with more carne asada, and we'll make a chipotle bowl. Let me know in the comments below if you all would like to see a homemade chipotle bowl on the channel. So I'm just going to add some of this tomato on top here. And then I'm just gonna add some of our cilantro. Okay, so now we've assembled our carne asada fries, and this looks delicious. We've got some lime here, and I'm just gonna squeeze some lime around. And I think I'm going in for a try. All right. Oh, the meat is tender. The fries are so crispy. I can taste the red chili and the lime, and the avocado crema really takes it to a whole new level. This is so delicious. I hope you give it a try. And if you do, don't forget to leave a comment down below. We're excited about some of the new videos we have coming out, so we'll see you next time.